Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Steve Butala here for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. In this episode, Jill and I talk about the tools that make us so successful. Jill, I love this topic. It's like answering 20 questions in one. But before we get to it, let's take a question from a caller, as always.
Sure. Randy from Montana called in and asked, how low of a price can you really offer for land?
That's a good question. You seem to have no bottom on what you will pay for real estate. I won't go below $1.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I always think there's a fine line between absurdity and, reality. So no matter how low we send out mailers, and we've been doing this for 15 plus years, almost 16,000 transactions. No matter what we seem to send out with houses and with land, people just sign them and send them back, and we do deals. So I used to think the rock bottom was about $100 an acre, or maybe $500 or $600 for maybe a smaller lot, like quarter acre. And these are not in urban areas, but in fairly rural areas. But anymore, man, I just tell you, it's more about catching them at the right time and circumstance than it is about the money. I think I would, back me up here. It's a vast majority of the people that we end up doing deals with. It's not really about the price at all. It's just about checking it off their list.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a sliding scale too, depending on the property, depending where it is. If you really go, our Success Plant members they have it down. They know how to look for similar properties and what they should be buying it at based on what things are selling. So it really is kind of it's a variable depending on the property and depending on where it is. If it's a quarter acre lot in Southern California versus a quarter acre lot in New Mexico, it's all different.
That's the right way to answer that question. Well said. It has to do with a delicate balance between the stuff that's for sale in the area, the stuff that's sold in the area, and then you got to start subtracting from there. We try to offer less than 40% of what property has sold for or is selling there right now, and that's usually our mark. There's a lot of other ways that we teach. It's all in our Cash Flow from Land program. There's a lot of other ways to value property, and our students, our members are actually coming up with some great ways to value property because we kind of specialize out west, but we have tons of East Coast members that are coming up with ways to value property based on assessed value and a lot of different things. So,
and they're also looking at a lot of different lakefront properties and nice areas where you got to up your price. But because it's worth that much more.
Here's an example. I just had a talk with a guy who is from Florida, but he lives in the northeastern part of the country. I think New Jersey right now. Very successful guy, and he bought our program, and he's a pro member, and he has a subdivision all picked out in Florida, where the properties themselves sell for about $200,000 to $300,000, and they're all canal lots in a very specific area, but there's a lot of them. And so he's buying them for $100,000. He's taken the concepts that we provide and the network of people that we have and the advice and the whole system, but he's applying it to a different level of property with great success, I might add. And it's the same thing that we do with residential houses, Joe, but we haven't put a educational program together yet. But
the concept applies, like you just said. What we do every day applies to many different types of real estate.
This is actually pretty topical for what we're supposed to be talking about today.
Oh.
The tools that make us so successful.
What are the tools, Stephen?
Sometimes you sound like you should do this for a living.
I kind of like that.
Let me tell you what the tools are, Vanna White. Not necessarily in this order. What if we did a straight lace show where we didn't horse around at all?
That would be so funny.
And we just said
like it was a newscast
we provided
or something.
real information without all the banter, and we just sat here and talked, and there was no laughing.
Oh my gosh!
And no voice intonation, and we just said, like in Ferris Bueller, this is how you buy. These are the tools.
Then we'd go from 8 listeners to 1 overnight. That's what would happen.
And you know what would really happen is it just wouldn't be any fun.
I know.
That's the reason this works. It's fun.
Well, not only that, it's fun, and we're really giving out real good information.
Yeah.
We're not just reporting something or just reading stats or talking about who knows what. I mean, it's good stuff. So, all right, give me something.
So here's a bunch of tools that we've developed over the years, and believe me, I did this all wrong for a lot of years until I figured it out. It was just a trial and error situation. But number one, most importantly, you have to have grade A quality data. And I mean data that is fed directly from the county website, the county assessor. All right. And fortunately, Jill and I have, for a lot of years, been using what used to be the First American Title data, which is now the same database as it's always been, but it's a live feed. Almost, it's as live as it gets. Let's say that. As live as it gets feed called CoreLogic, and we're licensed providers of this data, so you can get it through us. You know, all we did here is took our business, our incredibly successful business, and made another business out of it called Land Academy, where we provide the exact same tools and the way that we do business day in and day out. So that's data. Mm-hmm. We have a product called data2doorstep.com, data number 2 doorstep, which is a group, a very large now, or growing larger every day, group of people who pay for access to the same data that we use. And then after that, the tool after that you really need, and again, this is part of Data to Doorstep 2, is a reliable, specialized mail / direct mail / printer to get your offers in the mail inexpensively. In fact, we do it cheaper than the price of a stamp for a bunch of reasons, which includes everything.
I have to tell you something. I talked to a guy the other day, not to interrupt you, but how good this is. He was spending 49 cents on a postcard.
Oh my gosh.
And we do
2-page offers.
Right. In an envelope, windowed envelope. I mean, everything personalized.
Jeez.
2 pages. Yeah, it was. I thought that was really interesting.
For cheaper than
49 that, exactly.
49 cents. Mm-hmm. And it's like with your signatures on there. Mm-hmm. It's very professional.
It does. It looks, yep.
Yeah, you don't want to send postcards out.
I know.
We haven't talked about that.
It was kind of funny because I was asking him, like, well, can you put all the stuff on? I mean, do you put it on the postcard? He goes, yeah, I put everything on there, make it personal. I'm like, well, God, I don't know.
How is a postcard personal at all?
That's what I'm thinking. Well, A, am I even going to look at it because it's a postcard? And B, I may not be thrilled with you with having some of my personal information visible on a postcard. You know,
I tried all that and it doesn't work.
Exactly. Well, and it was so funny. And then I said, what's your response rate? And he goes, well, yeah, there is that. That's true. He kind of agreed that the response rate on a postcard is much, much, much lower on a letter. So I went, all right. Okay. He's like, I know. So it was good. He wasn't arguing the fact. He just kind of was bringing it up. I'm like, how's that going? He's like, well, it's a cheap way to try to get something, but it doesn't work as well. And I said, that's kind of what we found.
Right.
So, yep.
Yeah, so cheap and reliable direct way, a direct mail company, direct or bulk mail company. We have a relationship with the company that I've tried 50 of them, and this one's the best. Mm-hmm. You also need a lot of help if you're going to do this with any type of volume and consistency. So we also provide people who can do your deeds for you, and a very specialized virtual assistant who can take a lot of the work, like the heavy lifting, out of this so that you can just do deals.
Can I please say, yes. Don't call our office yet. They're not quite yet, but it's coming. You
need specialized, in our case, we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a custom database solution to track all this stuff. And you need a good graphics person, which we provide in the data, in the virtual assistant scenario. So this isn't a commercial about Land Academy. It's just the tools that you need they're evident. you need to know how to choose the right target area, and we show you exactly how to do that in our education material. So you can go off on your own and try to do all this stuff, or you can learn from us, I guess.
Well, you know what, Stephen, it's like any business. Say I want to open an ice cream shop. I could go through all the pain of figuring out, am I going to make my own ice cream? Am I going to buy it pre-made? Where am I going to buy it? And then how do I get a place? Am I going to be in a stand? Am I going to be in the mall? Whatever. There's a lot of different pieces.
Yeah.
And
are you going to get customers? Right.
And customers and advertising, promoting. And
or you can just use
I could spend 10 years. I mean, that's why franchises, exist, because they've done all the work for you. They've got it all filled out, and there's a plan, and there's, what am I trying to say? A proven track record. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Which I like. I know that if I want to open a XYZ, store, I'm sure they have criteria, because they know what works and they know what doesn't work. And I'm paying for that. And I get it. Because you know what? Because I'm going to make more money in the end, by the way, and quicker if I follow their steps, because they've done it all wrong, I'm sure, to get to the point that they are, like we have.
Yeah. And the last tool, at least on this list, and there's probably more if you really drill into it, is a sales venue. You could do all this work and buy this cheap property and then start like we did from nothing. Or you can use our sales venues, which, there's tens and tens of thousands of people that we reach on a weekly basis that are going through our websites, and, or use, and you could start on your own, or you could utilize ours. Mm-hmm. So but either way, you're going to need a sales venue.
Right.
So you and I have spent a ton of time on that. I've spent 16 years collecting a list of people that want to buy this type of property, and it's not a small list. So Am I going to email it to you? No. I'm just saying we have a program coming that allows, if you want to be in the group, it allows you to have access to that stuff.
More stuff's coming. So basically, this is just about just kind of sharing with you some of the tools that we utilize every day that make us successful, and it's stuff you need to think about. And we can help and provide these tools to, if you want to ramp up fast and be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we do. That's really the whole.
What did I miss? What's like, because what you do at Landstay, as an acquisition person, do you know
the only thing that's missing? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you from this. There's one thing we can't provide, and that's you and your enthusiasm and your ambition and your determination. I mean, we could spell everything out for somebody, but we can't make sure they're going to pick up the phone and complete the sale, or buy something or whatever. I mean, we could even bring money to the table. By the way, that's a tool that's not on here that we promote with our members. Is you've got a great deal and you need some funds. This is one of those you can't get to the bank fast enough, but you don't have enough in the bank to do it.
Yeah.
Call us.
Money should never, ever stop you from doing a deal.
Yeah. The money's out there.
Believe me, our group.
And that's a tool that we have.
And we are not by any stretch the only people in our group who say that. Mm-hmm. Our group is packed full of people who are really, really interested in that, Jill. Mm-hmm. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill and I discuss your all-important success in real estate and in life. I think that ended up being pretty dry and boring after all.
I thought so too. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was trying to bring it up a little bit, but it was kind of dry. I hope they like that. It's good. I mean, it's informative.
I guess we have to do these shows, these, informative shows. We have to.
Well,
don't we?
I do get feedback.
We could just have horsing around time. Go ahead.
I get feedback, though, of people that do want to hear some valuable, they want to learn something on these podcasts. I thought it was all entertainment too, but a lot of people do want to learn something.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about?
Nothing but entertainment.
That's what I think. That's how I want
to laugh, tell stories, which, by the way, I can't wait for the next show, because the next show is going to be hilarious.
What's the next show?
The crooks we met last night. It was really funny and really true.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's hurry up and do that.
All right. Let's go buy some property.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.